Hi, my name is Alieshia, and I am the host of Behind the Brand. Behind the Brand is a talk show where I interview entrepreneurs and content creators to discuss how they built their brand and who they are behind their brand and the businesses that they run. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Today, my special guest is Nicole Jack. She is the owner of the King's Donuts and Coffee. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here today to share, a little bit about who you are and your business.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so my first question is, did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
I think I always, in a way, yes. Growing up, I always said I was going to do one or two things. I was either going to work with kids in some capacity. I always kept, I'm going to own a daycare, I'm going to own a this, something related to kids, or something along the food industry as far as like, baking and all those things, because I grew up, doing that. A lot of people in my family actually, were in the quote unquote food business. So I always said somewhere, and then I think it's a lot of entrepreneurship in my family. So I think to a degree, yes.
Oh, okay, then that's really cool. I thought about daycare too, then I heard about all the laws.
Right.
Okay. Why not go ahead and do that one?
Right.
So we are in your lovely establishment. So I want to know, how long did it take from the idea of doing the donuts and coffee till you opening up your doors?
Okay, so I don't really. The way this all came about for me wasn't the traditional run. I didn't go out and say I want to open up a donut shop. That was the thing. It really was a blessing out of a mess. This was not originally my idea. It was actually a group of ladies. It was a different partnership group, and I knew them through someone else, and I had done some things for them over the holidays, like cakes and things like that. So they knew that I baked and all of these things. So when they were deciding to do this, as far as open up, they wanted to open up a donut shop because they wanted to be able to give back, they wanted to create jobs and all those things, but nobody was on the baking side of it. And so I came in and I spoke to them about it, and they were like, okay, look, you come on board and you help us do that part of it. And I said, great. And originally when I was presented with the whole compensation package of it all, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. And I declined initially to take it was a job, honestly, and I declined to take it because I was like, I'm not working for that. I'm like, yeah, no. And it was, no, I wasn't. But they called me back, and they presented this whole, if you accept this now, we're going to do other locations, and it'll be all yours. You can get the next store. So it was a lot of,
like
promises. And then I got excited about that, and I said, okay, I'll do it. And things were great for probably about the first 2 months, maybe. But it's always a challenge when you have multiple people and multiple owners involved in things, and some things happen, and we kind of parted ways after about just shy of 3 months. And the shop itself stayed open, like on and off, for just a couple of months. Like they couldn't keep anybody in here to work and all these things. And so they called me back and was like, okay, hey, can you help? Or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, no. Because it was still, so they were like, well, tell us what you need as far as monetary wise. What is it that you need to, do it? So I put my package together, and they was like, okay, just do it, and we'll, we'll agree. So we did. And that worked for about another 3 to 6 months. And then it all started to fall apart again. And it got to the point where I essentially was the only person, other than the staff that we had working up front, coming into work on an everyday basis. And I'm going, I'm not really sure if this is how this is supposed to go. So, long story short, we opened this store. Everything in here was built from the ground up. The store itself opened. It was 8 years ago. And within that first year, we went through all these changes. So after, probably by the end of that first year, I was like, okay, something has to give or whatever. So I was an employee for the first year, technically an employee for the first year. And I've been the sole owner for the last 7 years.
Oh,
because
okay.
after everything started falling apart, I was like, you know what? Okay, look, this is what we can do. Either here's the package that ownership package that I would like, or I quit.
Yes.
I didn't see any other way, and I'm like, I'm doing a whole lot for a whole lot of what?
Yeah.
So there.
So now you've been the owner.
So now I've been the owner for the last 7 years. Yes.
Oh, okay.
For the last 7 years, and it has, yeah.
And so you're doing it technically is it like by yourself now since you parted ways?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
You like that better?
It's not even about. Of course, you like it better because it's yours, and you know it's yours, and you're not going off of promises and things like that. You know it's yours, but it's also a lot. It's a lot when you don't have a team to help you do things. So with it being just me, I'm actually the only one in the kitchen as far as baking. I'm the only management staff, it's a lot. So that's the downside.
I see what you're saying. So you've been doing this for 7 years. What does success mean to you when it comes to entrepreneurship?
I think being able to do what you love and be glad about it and have a feeling of accomplishing, something makes you feel, the success of it all comes in the fact that you can still keep your doors open, that people still want to come and visit the shop. Because even after the pandemic, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it, through this. But the blessing in it is, which I guess is what defines the success for me, is that I've created something that people truly want. Because I was closed for a really, really long time initially during the pandemic. And when I announced that I was reopening, you would have thought it was like I never left. Like the lines were long, the phone was ringing, I'm going, oh, really?
Yes, that's good.
So I guess for me, that's what it is. Knowing that I've created something that people recognize and that they still want and appreciate.
Oh, that is good. I like that. That's really great. What's one great advice that you got when you started your business?
That I got when I started this?
Maybe in transition since it came a different bell.
I think, like I said, it's really been a challenge, but I think for me, it was kind of like someone said to me, only do it if you love it. Because having a business that you don't love really means nothing. It's like, what are you doing it for if you don't enjoy it? Like, you don't go into things like this for the money. Well, you do. You go in to make money, but the money means nothing if you don't enjoy what you do, because you're just working hard for nothing. Yeah, for what? So that probably would be my best piece, was only do it if you love it.
That's good, and you love it.
And I love it.
So I know that you said you've been doing this for 8 years, but you've been on it for 7 years. And so I wanted to ask you, how do you balance like family, working, and that you have to be in here, and that you're working like every day, and with your personal goals? Like, how do you balance your life being an entrepreneur?
I think I'm still struggling with that.
Okay.
I've sacrificed a lot of family time. I've missed a lot of family times and functions and events because I'm always, I can't close, I have to be open, I can't close, I have to be open. But just, with, not even just with COVID, but just even recently over the last, few months and stuff, and you have people who pass away, and you have things that you can't make it to and you know you want to. I hate that it's taken me this long to realize that you have to find balance. Like, it's okay to say, I can't do it today. I'm going to be closed from this day to this day because I have things, you have to prioritize those things, and I think I failed at that a little bit. Just because I felt like this was the most important thing. And even though it is important, like there are, your family's important.
Yes.
And so you really do have to find the balance with that.
So do you feel like it was like easier when you were in the pandemic? Were you able, were your eyes open to that because you were closed? Or you feel like you still were doing a lot during the pandemic?
No, actually, I think because I was closed during the pandemic, it was a little bit different. And I went through a couple of health challenges during the pandemic too. So it kind of changed my perspective a bit too, because it was like, if you can't even get up and walk, how are you going to roll donuts, and why do you even care? Like your health should be first. And I think that opened my eyes to a lot of things, because there would be times where I would be, whatever it was, bronchitis, whatever it was that I was going through, I still would feel like I got to go to work. I'm just going to, stay covered up. I'm just going to stay, but I still got to go to work. I don't care if I had a flu, I don't care, whatever. But I think the pandemic opened my eyes to, hey, if you're not walking around to even do this, so.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So we kind of talked about this a little bit, but if we can kind of elaborate, how have you had to pivot in entrepreneurship, if you have had to pivot?
Entrepreneurship, well, you have to learn some self-control as far as your spending. Okay. That's the life. You gotta have some willpower, you gotta have some self-control, you gotta have some discipline, and it kind of grows you up a lot, because when you work for someone and you know that you get a steady paycheck every other week, every 2 weeks, however it may be, you move a little different. You're like, okay, I can do this, and this, because my check's coming on the 15th, or my check's coming on the 1st. Whereas entrepreneurship, it's like, wait a minute, hold on. It's strictly up to you to create, your finances and to create your comfort level and to create, your security blanket, so to speak. So I think it matured me a lot in that aspect, because it was like, oh, hey, girl, that power bill.
With the bills.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting though. That's a good perspective though. So I like that. So within that, what has been the most calculated risk that you've taken as an entrepreneur?
Probably just choosing to even remain open after the pandemic and not knowing what's to come. I think it's a well-known fact that every industry is suffering from employee shortages and things of that nature. I think the food industry is suffering more than anyone in regards to that. So I think choosing to, I've had to scale down a bit, because we've gone from being open 6 days a week to only opening 3 days out the week. So it takes a whole lot, that I have to do in those 3 days to make sure I'm still functioning as if I was opening 6 days. So
okay,
I think choosing to, I applaud any and everybody in whatever business field though that have survived it, because even here we are 2 years later, and you would think that you would see much better results, I guess, as far as like it getting better for some businesses, and it just doesn't seem like, I can't put my finger on what the what the halt is as to why people can't find employees, why people, so I think that for me is like, okay, are you going to keep doing this or not, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think the pandemic kind of changed like everybody's perspective and everything.
It did.
How people operate and stuff like that. So that is also something to think about, you know. So every time I ask people this question, I feel like, or even on social media, entrepreneurs, they're like, I wake up at 5 in the morning, I wake up at 4 in the morning. And I just always don't think that you need to do that to be successful. I don't know what time you wake up, but I would like for you to share, what is your morning routine and how you prepare for the day as an entrepreneur?
So for me, because I am the only one in the kitchen as far as, you know, being able to produce the product, I make all my stuff fresh each day that we're open. So my days usually start between 3 and 4 a.m. It just kind of depends on what my workload is for that day. On if I have however many pre-orders or whatever it is, because I have to get in here and make sure that, you know, I have enough stuff made and ready to open by 7 a.m. And so I'm here from probably 3, 4 a.m. to we close between 2 and 3. So from the, you know, until the time we close. And then when I go home, or, you know, if I go home right away, just depending on how the day went, if I run out of something, I have to run to the store, I have to, you know, go to this meeting. I have to schedule all of my things after that time, after I get off, in the, you know, just in case, because sometimes it's hard for, you know, people want to come and they want to meet and they want to talk here, and I'm like, you can, but I might have to run to the back, I might have to do this. So a lot of times I schedule meetings and whatnot after 3 o'clock. So depending on if I have a meeting that I have to go to, if I have another event that I'm catering or whatever I have to go to. And then when you get home, by the time I get home, then I go through my phone and you spend all these hours going through your phone, going through all my emails, going through social media, trying to return phone calls, trying to return text messages that I didn't return. And I'm sorry, people. I know when people text, they actually think that you should respond right away. And sometimes
You don't think so?
yes, well, I would love to, but sometimes
it can't.
it
So
don't
you have an assistant.
It don't happen. It just don't happen. You
Yes.
text me at 8 o'clock in the morning, good morning, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh, hey.
God, I've been done so much, I can't even get to my phone right then, so.
Sorry.
Yes, I understand. So your day starts at 3 in the morning?
Yes.
Whew. And that's 12-hour days right there. I just don't know. I'd be about tired when I went home. I don't even know if I'd even be able to return a message. Return text message. But that is really, really cool. I was like, yes, I need an assistant or something. You need somebody to help you.
Because please come balance me out.
Because that is a lot going on. So you cater and you do pre-orders. People can order. And then you're also doing orders in the shop.
Orders here where, you know, people can order online in advance, and so we do that. And then I have a couple of locations that actually get product on select days, so I have to do their orders. You know, usually I try to get their orders out the way first before we even open for the day. So I'll do their orders, and then, you know, whoever's coming to pick their order up, then get ready for the people that walk in, you know, to purchase. So yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oh my goodness. And you open up at 7 in the morning. I'm like, I'm just waking up at 7. My girl and I already had a whole work shift. I can't do that early mornings, baby. So you were talking about earlier how you were saying that you want to be in business and doing something that you love. That's what you got advice, and so that you love it. So then, what is your why when it comes to business, entrepreneurship, and just even keeping like this open?
I think my why is, you know, I think I found something that I've truly enjoyed doing. Number one, along with all the people that I've met, all the customers that I've met, all the ones that are now like family that I've met. It's afforded me to be able to take care of myself, myself, my daughter. You know, I drag my mom in here with me sometimes, and you know whatnot. So I think I feel like I found my purpose, so to speak, and it kind of fulfills all the things that I always thought that I would do. Like I said, I thought I was going to have a daycare at some point or work with kids, and I get so many kids that come in now that I've watched grow up,
that's cool.
and now are going off to school, or so I feel like, okay, I got that, because I have all these kids now that embrace me all the time. So I feel like, okay, well, I got a little piece of that.
Yeah.
And then the whole food aspect of it, as far as like the whole restaurant concept. So I think for me, why is just because I love it. So
Okay.
I think that's kind of why I keep doing it, because I love it.
Yeah, that's good. You love having sport, and it's still like a family environment, stuff like that. Because when I think about a daycare, it's like, okay, they're like, you have kids, they're coming to get their family, but like here, their family, they're coming here and they're enjoying a fresh like donut or whatever food that you're preparing for them.
Right, and it feels good when they come in like, hey, can we say hi to Miss Nicole? And the whole thing, I'm like, oh, there goes my baby.
That is so funny. Talking about that balance and talking about things that you do, what is your self-care routine if you have one?
I'm guilty. I don't. I should do better. I should do better. I abuse myself. I don't get enough sleep. I don't get enough food. I don't get, and I know it. But on the days when I finally realize that I've reached that pivotal point and I've had enough, then I have no problem. I'll turn my phone off. I'll turn, and just go. If I need to have a weekend away by myself or whatever it may be. But I'm guilty of not having a dedicated kind of, self-care. And I think that's important. I think everybody should. You really, really should. And I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
It's in progress. It's coming.
I'm working. It's taking me 8 years to figure these things out. Like, you don't learn this stuff overnight. So I'm working on it.
Yeah, that is great. At least you're working on it. You're going to get to it. So we all just need to have a self-care routine. And the last question is, what should we look forward to next from you?
Well, we have a lot of things planned for the summer. As far as like activities for the kids, for adults as well. We're going to be doing some day parties on the patio and kind of just taking advantage of the fact that that the world is technically open, and being able to enjoy each other's company and time and space and things of that nature. I get asked all the time, am I going to open up another location, this and that, and I apply to all you people who want to do 2 and 4 locations. I just don't think I'm there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm happy with just one right now. So there's other artsy crafty ventures that I'll probably jump off into right now. And then like my main goal right now is of course getting somebody else in the kitchen to kind of help alleviate me, so I can get out of the kitchen and kind of step into some other things. Okay, then. Well, thank you for being a part of Behind the Brand interview. Let everyone know where they can come get some donuts or coffee at when they're in the city, or if they're already here. So we are located at 8420 Sonoya Road in Fairburn, Georgia. It's the King's Donuts, Coffee, and More. Right now we're open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. Friday, June 3rd, if you all see this, is National Donut Day. That's one of our biggest days. So everybody come out, and if it's not June 3rd, if it's after that, it's before that, you know where we are. Follow us on social media, on Facebook at The King's Donuts, and on Instagram at The King's Donuts and Coffee.
Yes, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But for next year, you will know that National Donut Day
is always the first Friday in June.
Okay, so there y'all go. And June is Juneteenth month, so we're just gonna keep it all up in the June. Okay, but I'm so excited for your day parties. I'm so excited for your business, and that you've been in business for 7 years as an owner is really applaudable.
Thank you.
I wanted to just let you know and congratulate you.
Thank you.
And thanks for being part of the show.
Thank you.